All right. So here's an interesting one for me. Most of the authors that I've interviewed so far on this YouTube channel, I know them. I either know them personally or I've hung out with them online or whatever. But this next guest, I know almost nothing about, and I purposely didn't even read. I glanced at your stuff. I was like, you know what, we're all gonna learn this together. So, first off, welcome, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, I interview thriller authors, and for me, thriller is the umbrella term. So a lot of people get hung up. They're like, "Well, I'm a crime fiction author." I'm like, "That's thriller." I'm a mystery author. That's thriller. So basically, tell us what who you are and what you are.
Who I am, my name is Diane Bator, as you see there.
Mhm.
I am a Canadian mystery writer. I've published, let me see, about 18 novels now. They're kind of range from really light, cozy mystery, which no blood, no guts, no gore, to things coming in the future that may be a little more on the thriller side. So just kind of genre swapping here and there now and then, and we'll see what comes up.
You write what you want to write, and
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yep.
that's the fun. There's the business part of this, but then there's also the fun of just writing whatever ideas are rattling around in your head.
Exactly.
So, are you writing standalones or are you writing series?
So far, all of my books have ended up as series. I start off with a book and then I go, "Oh, I wonder what happens next." And all of a sudden, I've got 5 books in the series. I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, I think I'll wrap this one up." My very first series, that's what I did. 5 books. I wrapped it up, but I kind of left a little, a little leeway. So if I want to go back, I can.
Mhm.
Other series, my brand new series, AJ Cadell Mysteries. Right now, my book 2 actually comes out in September. So I'm really excited for that one because I've been having a lot of fun with it.
So, when you're writing, you're starting a brand new series. Do you immediately go, okay, this is a series, or do you go, let me just write the first book and see what happens? And do you have, at what point do you go, okay, this is going to be a 5 book series?
It kind of varies because I think I know this series in particular, the AJ Cadell ones, I'm leaning towards 3 books in the series. And I've kind of got them not plotted out, but I know where the series is going.
Mhm.
And, who knows, that might come back later on and add to it or whatever. But for now, there will be 3 books. Other series are kind of like, well, we'll see where I go next and what the character gets up to and that sort of thing.
So as a writer, I know, like for me, there are certain series or ideas that I have, and I have to, you know, I'm a full time author. This is how I make my money. So, do you ever worry about the business part of it before you worry about the creative part? Do you ever go like, well, I want to do 10 books in this. I want to keep writing, but the sales are not what my other books are.
For now, I'm still working full time because when it happened was I actually moved across Canada 2 years ago and trying to set up a new life and stuff. And the easiest way to meet people was to be out in the public. And I work customer service right now, which some days I regret, but most days I get some great ideas,
Yeah,
meet some great people. So it's good to get story ideas and stuff as well, still being out in with the public and instead of just, locked in my little apartment and writing books all the time.
right. I would imagine you're getting a lot more writing in the winter as well.
Yeah, I hope so. Because this summer I've been editing a fantasy novel for with a friend of mine, and I'm just ready to. I just need a break to actually be creative for a while.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what some people don't realize. The non-writers in our lives, they don't realize that this is a disease for us. This is a curse for us. We need to be writing.
Absolutely. There comes a point like you can go through your everyday life, and if you're not writing, boy, do you feel it because you just feel like that pent up energy that it has to go somewhere. And if it has nowhere to go, then you just kind of go squirrely.
Yeah. So for you, is it you're creating all these different series, but is it all in one world for you? Like, do you cross move characters or cities or any places, or is it just completely standalone?
So far, each series has kind of had its own location and its own characters. I haven't really done any crossover. I do have a series that it's going to take a little longer to build just because it will be more involved. It deals with a family, the mother and 5 kids, and then each book is point of view of one of the kids. So it's going to be a little more complicated than I've dealt with in the past, but I'm really excited to get to sit down and do it.
Yeah, that sounds interesting to create that world and to write, knowing that you're structuring it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you do you basically you're a pantser, you're a plotter?
I knew that's what's coming next.
Set me up there for it,
Yeah, kind of mostly a pantser. Sometimes things will, especially when I'm starting a book and ideas start coming and everything, and then I'm like, okay, well, this will be really good. I can do this. This will be book 1. This will be book 2. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. So most of the ideas come as a pantser and just kind of flying through all these ideas and these all these little inspirations and stuff I get from wherever. And then eventually there comes a point that you have to sit down and go, okay, well, I have to show what I'm going to do. So I have to write these blurbs. I have to write these teasers. I have to write, some sort of constructive proof that this is what I'm doing. So eventually that comes about. And sometimes that comes early on and just kind of sets the stage. So I'm like, okay, this is what I'm writing about for this book. This can go in another book. And I kind of have a bunch of folders on my desk here that I can just kind of put ideas in different folders for later if I need.
And then eventually you write those 10,000 books of ideas that you have.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. I find I'm a total pantser, but I do get to a point in the book where I'm coming up with ideas or different things, and then I just got to jot them down on a Post-it note.
Yeah.
Then half the time I don't even go back to that because I've come up with a different idea as I'm fully immersed in the book and writing the book. So it's always really really weird for me when I'm writing.
No, it sounds like we're very similar with our writing styles for sure. So I'm definitely not. There's Canadian Terry Fallis that I was at a conference one year, and he was doing this talk about writing and his writing style. And because he is very linear in his thinking, he's what's the word? He's like an electrical engineer, and he designs vehicles and that sort of thing. And he was showing us his procedure, and I sat there going, after number 2, I'd be like losing my mind. So I'm not that linear.
Yeah, I've worked with publishers where I've had to give them an outline first.
Yeah.
And I felt like I already wrote the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to be. I'm not one of these people who think that the characters speak through me or any of that, but I do think that is for me. As I'm writing, I'm also a reader. I'm also going, oh, what's coming next? I want to get to this next part, this next chapter, because I want to see what happens next.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm much the same way. Like if I have to sit down, I did it one time, and that was for that was a NaNoWriMo book many years ago, and I plotted out probably 3/4 of it. And I got to this point and I was like, okay, I can't follow this anymore because it doesn't fit. It doesn't work. So, and I just kind of abandoned that. But it was interesting to just do it as an experiment as to how I can write with it. I don't.
Well, because we always want, as writers, we're always looking for that magic that I can, if I change this or do this, I can write 100,000 words a day and they're all brilliant kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we waste a lot of time, doing that. But then after 18 books, you should have your system down.
That's it, right? You figure out what works best for you. So yeah, absolutely.
What makes it what's comfortable for you? And I love the fact that we're not. This isn't a 9 to 5. There's people that you talk to that are I'm getting up at 4 in the morning and I'm writing for an hour, or I don't roll out of bed till 11 in the morning and I write. I only write at night when the kids are asleep. There's so many different ways of doing this. It's great.
Yeah, well, and it was really funny. Like, I started writing when my kids were quite young, and I would write literally when they were playing baseball, when they were doing karate, when I was waiting at the doctor's office. I always have a notebook in my purse. And if I have 15 minutes, then that's what I have, and I make the best of it. And a lot of people haven't trained themselves to write that way. So they need that time to sit down and get their cup of coffee and get their computer warmed up. And I'm like, no, I have 15 minutes. Let's go.
Yeah. And it's part of the routine of doing this.
Yeah.
That's the fun. My wife gets up every morning at 8 o'clock, 8:15. Her alarm goes off, and she takes the dog out, and then I roll out of bed and make my first cup of coffee. Don't talk to me until I have it.
Me too.
You start your day. And I actually, for a long time, I do Post-it notes every day, and I'll do 9 to 10 is emails, 10 to 11 is writing, and I kind of roughly sketch out my day because I know there's certain things that have to be done. I have to, upload these videos, so this is going to take me a half an hour. I put it in there, and it never works out. I mean, it's never like, here's my 9 to 5, and then at 5 o'clock I go, oh, done, and then I can go watch Netflix. There's always a phone call, or I'm like, hey, I'm old. I need to go take a nap.
Right. Those little Post-it notes get crumpled up really quick. So yeah.
I got 1,000 on my desk, and most of them I'm like, I don't even know what this even says. I don't even know what date this was.
I have a stack in front of the screen right now. Thankfully, nobody can see it but me, because it's probably about this deep. So
yeah. I always, but my wife says, like, do you need anything for work? I said, yes, Post-it notes. Be like the 4-pack, but I mean like the 80-pack.
Right?
Like 15 of these a day on just random.
Every special occasion.
Yeah. She's like, what color? I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm not color coding anything. It's in my mind. I know what I'm doing in my crazy creative mind.
Exactly.
That's the way you have to do this. So I got a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
For some reason, your screen is frozen.
Yeah, I thought it was just on my end, but
yeah. So this
happening.
interview might be the first 5 minutes we can see you bouncing and moving around, and then you're just sitting.
At least I'm holding still finally for the first time all day. So
what?
I'm holding still for the first time all day.
Let's say you're so into this interview, you're not moving your head, which is great.
Absolutely.
That's great concentration on your end. So for you, who are some of the writers, thrillers, mystery, whatever, that really inspired you to start writing to begin with?
Kathy Reichs, sorry. The whole Bones series just totally intrigued me, and I just love it.
Yeah.
Canadian Louise Penny, who I've started reading a couple of her books, and I just haven't, reading doesn't always happen, especially when you're writing and working.
Great character, Armand.
Yeah, there we go. Of course.
Yeah.
I have to get your book. There we go. And I have a really good friend who has really inspired me. Her name is Karen Gross. She's written now, I want to say 4 or 5 thriller novels, and they are fantastic. And I am more than happy to support this girl along her path, because I met her when she had debuted her first novel, and we've just been really good friends since. And she makes me so happy every time I see her put a new book out. So, and they're so good.
And that's the fun of it, right? That's the fun of meeting the authors coming and going, no matter where they are in their career and you are in your career, but to find some of those people that it always throws me. I find an author and I'm like, I remember when your first book came out. I remember before when you were just a reader, and it's fun to see that they've had their fifth and sixth and 10th book out or whatever.
Absolutely. There's another one too that we used to be part of the same writing group, and I think it was during COVID, they started an online group when I was living in Ontario. And Gary McGugan is actually an amazing author as well. And I think his seventh book just came out. And yeah, just very talented. And it's just, it thrills me to no end. Like, I love helping other authors. I help to edit books. I help to, I've mentored a few people, and it's just always so exciting for me to see their books come out. And I've got shelves full of books that other people have autographed for me because it was their first book or third book or whatever.
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Are you doing any conferences? Do you do anything like that?
I just came back from When Words Collide here in Calgary. We have BoucherCon here next year in Calgary, which I am so excited because I never get to go to those.
I'm going next week.
Can't wait. Yeah. So I think next year that's my big one. And then there's it's actually a romance author one that I do in July. And I'm just kind of the fly on the wall right now for some things because life has been crazy.
Right.
But the romance one, I had so much fun at last year. I did it again this year, and it's all online. Everybody is all over the world, and it's just an absolute blast.
Very cool. All right. So now, besides the authors you just mentioned, what other authors out there should people be reading that maybe they're not?
I'm going to throw Karen's name out there again. Karen Gross, like I said, fantastic author. Her newest book just came out about a month ago, and I totally love it. Gary's as well, Gary McGugan. There's just so many great ones. Armand, of course, yours. We have to put that plug in there. And mine. Mine are just a little bit the lighter side of thriller, but the AJ Cadell series, my newest book, comes out September 5th. And there is a little bit of romance, a lot of intrigue, and, of course, the obligatory body. So.
Very cool. Well, it was fun having you on. I probably will not be going to BoucherCon in Calgary next year. That's a little too far for me. Although I tell my wife, you know what, if I'm up for an Anthony Award, then we're going to have to.
Oh, absolutely. Then we'll have to interview you. So there we go.
Yeah. I just have to, write something that anybody would go, hey, let's give this Anthony Award.
You and me both.
Well, very cool. It's great talking to you. I don't know what happens. Your posture is perfect.
Well, I'm a little crooked, but that's okay. It's hot. Thank you so much, Armand.
Good luck with everything.
You as well.